Medical checkup in London.
Yes, it went on very well.
After your well-deserved rest in London, what will Nigerians expect from your administration going forward?
Continuity.
While in London, you appointed the new Inspector General of Police. What do you expect from him?
Well, we went through the system. There was a committee by the Minister of Police Affairs, and they gave me some names, and he happens to be the one chosen. And he knows his job. He has been in it for a long time. He went to all the training. He has the necessary experience. So we expect, we have high expectations from him.
The performance of the new service chiefs, Your Excellency.
Oh yes, they have been in the system all the way. They know what is wrong. They know what is right. And I think they are doing their best. I hope their best will be good enough for Nigeria.
All right, welcome back. This is Editors Forum. So there you go, Mr. President. Sunday, I don't know why you were laughing, but when he was asked by the journalist, I think from Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, what should Nigerians expect? The president says Nigerians should expect continuity. Let's build on that. What kind of continuity are we talking about here? Let me begin with you, Sunday, since you were laughing when the president said that.
Yeah, it's rather quite unfortunate that that could just come out from a leader who has been away from home for 2 weeks, and also given the controversies that surrounded his departure. And it will appear that there was not much communication between him and those who were holding the affairs while he was away.
What makes you think so?
Yeah, the way he responded, continuity. What are you continuing? You know, and I don't. You don't also
with governance in the country.
He always be there. He has, you know, he has been there, and he will continue to be there.
While in the UK, the president was also working. I mean, according to Garba Show and Femi Adesina.
Well, I think that
it was while he was there. Of course, you heard him say that some names were sent.
Yeah, that is neither here nor there. Don't forget, a fundamental decision taken in the absence of a president. This is about the second or the third time that you are having that kind of fundamental decision taken while the president was not away. Was away, and when he doesn't have any option. Yes, I agree, because even while he was leaving, the presidency said he can govern from anywhere. It was for 2 weeks, and for that he cannot transmit power to the vice president. So let's assume that he was working from there, and he has come back to continue. Unfortunately, his tour was so controversial.
All right, Victor, do you agree with that, his position, and then Mr. President's words? How did you respond to the very first words of Mr. President when he touched down from the UK? Remember, there were protests at the Nigerian house in London. There were, of course, there was pro-Buhari protests. There was also anti-Buhari protests at the Nigerian house in UK.
Well, it's unfortunate for the first citizen of a country who left the shore of this country in the first place for 2 weeks to seek medical.
For only 2 weeks, actually.
Is it only 2 weeks? The other time, immediately he left, I was invited for this program too, and I made it clear that for a city president of a country to leave his country to stay in the outside of the country with all his entourage for upward of 2 weeks is not a shy place, because it costs a lot of money. You know, talk about the hospital bills, then those in his entourage that we feed in choice hotels and all that, and even security for his aircraft and all that. It costs the country a huge amount of money. But that is not where I'm even concerned. My concern is that for the president to say that it is going to be continuity, that is where my worry lies. Is he saying that we should expect continuous killings of Nigerians as we have always expected, or as we have always experienced? Because I would have expected him to say that, well, things will be done differently. That is the word I was expecting from him. But for him to say that continuity, because all the stories we are hearing every day, they are all negative stories. Today you hear that people have been kidnapped in so place. Tomorrow you hear people are being killed in so place. There is no day that passes in this country that blood is not shed. Is that what the president is saying that we should continue with, or what? Because for the past 5 years, we have never received any positive news. It's always negative news, negative news. Is that what we should continue with? I think that statement is worrisome to me. I don't know about other people. My mind is agitated with that statement that we should expect continuity. Continuity with kidnappings, continuity with killings, or what is the president actually talking about? Is it the collapse of the national grid that we are going to continue with, or what? Assuming we are living in a positive, the events taking place in this country are positive one. Well, if you say continuity, one would have agreed with him. But in a situation that every day we are hearing negative things, are they the things that the president is saying that we should continue with, or what? I'm worried with that statement.
All right. Well, I do not have feedbacks here in the studios yet, but I think with the monitor and all of that, but I think Emmanuel Zaka is standing by live in Kaduna. Emmanuel, if you are there and you can hear the conversation, please share with us your thoughts, Mr. President, at the moment, touching down the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, and then telling Nigerians that they should expect continuity. Aside from that, the president also said some names were sent to him, and then he had to make a decision. What does that tell you as a journalist?
Good afternoon, Greg, and good afternoon to those of you at the studio. You have said almost everything that I had in mind to say before this question came up. First, I want to say that as a Nigerian, that I am glad that the president is now back, hopefully fit to continue. It is not a patriotic duty of any Nigerian to love their president, but it is a patriotic duty to love your country regardless of who the president is. So whether you love the president or not, I think for the sake of the country, it is good that we have him back in one piece. So that is it. On the issue of continuity, the last speaker just took the words from my mouth. I said to understand in context what we are talking about, the weight of that statement by Mr. President, we need to ask ourselves the question, what are we to expect? Continuity? Then, so what is continuity in the context of Nigeria of today? Where were we before Mr. President traveled out of the country? And then where are we heading? Continuity. So let us look at where we were before he left. Doctors strike, and they're still on strike. The Joint Union of the Judiciary Workers, they're still on strike. The kidnappings, the school abduction, the abduction of students in schools that has become the new tragedy that we are dealing with in the country. So are these the things that we are going to continue with? As we speak, when Mr. President left, before he left, in fact, 39 students of the College of Forestry Mechanization, which is a federal institution in Kaduna, were abducted from their school. And as we speak now, 29 of them are still under captivity. They are still in captivity. And we have not heard anything at all. Nobody is saying anything about whether they are going to be rescued or not. So, and this is the 36th day. So is that the kind of continuity that Mr. President is talking about? Well, anyway, personally, Mr. President has never, ever disappointed me. If he had said anything different, I would have been surprised. He would have, for the first time, disappointed me. I expected him to say exactly what he said, move about as if nothing is going wrong. Well, so he's back. Thank God. But continuity, truly we don't want the kind of
president
continuity.
said some names were sent to him. Some names were sent to him. Does that give you a clue of the fact that we have a president that listens to those under him, or probably the reverse is the case, maybe the opposite of that?
Hello? Greg? Hello, Greg?
Can't hear.
All right, I'm not okay. It doesn't.
I can hear you now. I can hear you now. I can hear you.
All right, Emmanuel, let me go over that question again. The question is, while the president was away in the UK, a new IGP was appointed. Usman Baba Al-Khali was appointed, but the president, when he touched down,
Yes,
in Abuja some days ago, he said some names were sent to him. And so does that give you a clue of a president that listens to those under him? Or is it a president that probably, I'm trying to be careful with my words now, or do you think it's the opposite of that?
well, some names were sent to him for what? What we know is that while he was away, the former IGP, whose tenure was, for me, unconstitutionally extended, was the extension was cut short, and then another person in acting capacity was put there while he was away. Are those the names he has taken to us about that they were sent to him, and he was the one who gave the note that the person who is now acting should act? Or is he talking about a different name that he didn't know about the current IGP, the acting IGP's appointment, and then he has other names that have been sent to him, he's going to appoint from there? Well, let us be patient and wait the unfolding of events and see exactly where to contextualize that statement that he made, because for me, that statement is vague for now.
All right, Emmanuel, stay with us. We'll check in with you as we get to consider other issues and topics. But gentlemen, Victor and Sunday, back here in the studios, we have a president that listens. Some names were sent to him, Victor, and he listened and he made a decision.
Well, as a commander-in-chief of the armed forces, one would have expected him to come out with names of people that he wants to appoint, not name be sent to him. Because if you are the managing director of a company, you should be able to know who is fit to be a manager of each of the arms of your departments, not the other way around. But the way he presented it, it looks as if he was not in the know. He was not in the know. Names were just sent to him. That means he was not familiar with them in the first place. Because as a commander-in-chief of the armed forces, he is the one to pencil down the names of people he wants. He just make a handpick. He's supposed to make handpick, but the way he presented it to us is that names were sent to him. Why should names be sent to commander-in-chief of the armed forces? And we are talking about the number one citizen, the number one security officer in the police force. The person who is going to supervise the arm of the whole police force. So the president is supposed to know who is fit, not waiting for somebody behind to give him the names.
Sunday,
to me, it's shocking to me.
Add or you disagree?
Yeah, no, let me add. I think the president was defensive because one, he may have to cover up because it is his police service commission that should recommend to him on that basis.
That should recommend.
Yeah, exactly.
So the president is right.
On that basis, he will appoint. So the moment that appointment was made, there were some disquiets telling the president you do not have the right power that the other had the power to solely appoint an IG. Okay, right. So maybe he just is defensive. But again, I would think that there is something happening in the presidency that we don't know. Because while he appointed in UK, it was the vice president who decorated the new IGP, the acting IGP in Nassau Rock. So there's a lot that we need to know. So watch out the events unfold.